Joined right now by Fox News strategic analyst Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters for his thoughts on all this. And Colonel, I guess I'll start with what is it that we can do right now if this is, well, it's getting pretty serious?
We're running out of choices and we're running out of chances. The moment of truth is approaching. It's not quite there, but it's dangerously close. And Trish, something we all should worry about is because I think our intelligence community, which is actually very, very good, was so burned by the 2003 weapons of mass destruction issue that they've been overly cautious. And we've seen North Korea develop more and more capabilities more rapidly than any intelligence agencies anywhere thought. And it all comes down to two things. One, we are idiots for relying on China to help us. China won't help us unless we were to inflict really severe economic pain on China. Because China, North Korea, I've said it again and again, North Korea is China's most valuable ally. China sees us as the enemy. They're not going to help their enemy and dump their ally.
Okay, let me stop you there. You say we are idiots if we rely on China to help us here. But given what we've just seen with these sanctions, we're kind of putting, some pressure and some emphasis on China in order to help us deal with this situation, right? That's what the $1 billion worth of sanctions is about. Do you think China's not going to bother enforcing the sanctions, Lieutenant Colonel?
Well, the sanctions are about making people feel good. In order to get that vote, the 15-0 vote in the Security Council, we had to water down the sanctions at China's behest. On top of which, China's agreed to many sanctions before, and they violate them again and again for strategic reasons, for economic reasons, but primarily strategic reasons. So the bottom line on all this, Trish, is the crisis is coming. China has not been helping. There's one last chance to get China to help, but they're going to have to feel that if they don't help, they will suffer severe economic pain. That is our last chance before we start pulling triggers.
Can I ask you, walk us through sort of what this actually means. When you read a headline like the current one in the Washington Post, North Korea now making missile-ready nuclear weapons, what is the chance here that this can hit us?
Not yet is the answer. Because one, you need accurate missiles. Their missiles are not yet accurate enough. They have reentry problems where when the missiles are coming in on the target, they just burn up, break up. The miniaturized warheads have to be reliable. And finally, in order to pose a viable threat, you can't just have one of these. They really would want to have dozens. So we do, before there's a threat of them attacking our mainland with a barrage of missiles or attacking Hawaii, Guam, or Alaska, we probably, worst case, it's going to be at least 1.5 years, 2 years, maybe a little longer.
That's not a lot of time, Colonel.
It's not. And in Washington, things crawl along. And, I don't want this to be a war. I don't want it. Nobody in their right mind wants it. But we cannot allow North Korea to have an array of missiles, an arsenal of missiles, nuclear-tipped missiles that can hit the United States. If it comes to that, I would hit them first and hit them hard, knowing that it will be bloody and ugly if we do so.
Wow. You say if it comes to that, I mean, you're giving us a very short time horizon here, a year, 1.5 years. You point out Washington's slow. You've also pointed out that China's not going to help us the way we need China for its own self-interested reasons. Does that suggest then, Colonel Peters, we really are heading to actual war with North Korea?
Trish, I hate the thought. But we have been so foolish for so long. We've let this drag on so long. We've never really called China out. We've believed every promise, every lie that Beijing has told us. And as a result of which, we're facing what is rapidly becoming a real and present danger to the continental United States as well as our territories. I mean, how much more explicit, how much more plain can it be? And I stress again and again, this is not a matter of wanting war. This is really about the self-defense of our nation. And among my many worries on this is that we have talked ourselves out of what war really means, what really has to be done. And I'm really afraid that if we ever do go after their nukes militarily, we have this phobia. We don't want to hurt anybody. We just want to break stuff. And the worst thing we could do would be if we decide we must hit North Korea militarily, the worst thing we could do would be to do a half-baked effort. You're either all in or don't bother.
Oh, yeah, no, I think everyone would agree with you on that, absolutely. We've learned our lesson on those half-baked efforts. Colonel Peters, thank you very much. Good to have you here and your perspective.